Nicole, when was the last time you listened to your gut?
I always do, because we know there's a lot of misleading health advice out there, and most of what we're taught about food is wrong. Did you know that Big Food even pays TikTok influencers to say that ultra-processed foods are healthy? Well, they're not.
My God, that is shocking. It's no wonder that 1 in 8 people globally, by the way, that's over 1 billion people if you don't want to do the maths, are living with obesity.
Our sponsor Zoe understands that our health is suffering, and it's time we listened to our gut.
They make your gut health their business. And as we've learnt in over 5 years of doing this pod, gut health is key to overall health.
Your Zoe membership starts by testing your gut health, backed by one of the world's largest microbiome databases and most scientifically advanced at-home gut health tests. Zoe gives you proven science whenever you need it.
Listen, we know better than anyone else being in the self-care space that the start of every new year is noisy with health advice that is often just full of hot air and rubbish. But Zoe is the solution that you can trust.
Zoe is the science and nutrition company leading a movement to transform the health of millions, and Zoe membership has been proven by a randomized controlled trial, giving you the solutions to listen to your gut, make smarter food choices, and change your health for life.
Go to Zoe.com and find out what Zoe membership could do for you. And because you listen to Self-Care Club, you can use the exclusive code SELFCARE10 to get 10% off membership. As a Zoe member, you'll get an at-home test kit and personalised nutrition programme to help you make smarter food choices that support your gut. That's ZOE.com. Use code SELFCARE10 at checkout. Trust your gut. Trust Zoe.
It's 2025, a new year and the best time to turn your great idea into a business. Shopify is how you're going to make it happen. Let me tell you how. Shopify makes it simple to create your brand, open for business, and get your first sale. Get your store up and running easily with thousands of customizable templates. All you need to do is drag and drop. Their powerful social media tools let you connect all your channels and create shoppable posts. Established in 2025. Has a nice ring to it, doesn't it? Sign up for your $1 per month trial period at shopify.com/promo. All lowercase. Go to shopify.com/promo to start selling with Shopify today. Shopify.com/promo.
This episode is sponsored by Zoe.
Hello, everybody. I'm Nicole Goodman.
And I'm Lauren Mishkon, and this is Self-Care Club.
You are enough. You are enough. You are enough, Lauren Mishkon. You are.
Thank you.
It's a phrase that we have all heard, but what does it really mean? And why is it important? And how can embracing this idea actually change your life? Can it change your life? Well, that's what we are diving into on today's episode.
Yes.
You are enough, Lauren Mishkon.
Thank you. You are enough.
At its essence, you are enough means that you don't have to strive to become any more worthy, more valid, more accepted, more loved, more anything. You are already all of those things. You are enough just as you are.
Yeah, but
that's the ideal.
It's very, very simple to say, but the meaning of it, or when someone says it to you, you can dismiss it very, very easily because accepting it is really hard.
But
it's
people don't
really
say
hard.
it. People don't generally come up to you and say to you, you are enough.
No, but even feeling it is hard because it's much easier to accept criticism and compare yourself to other people and always constantly be striving for something that's always a little bit out of your reach.
I think we are taught to think of ourselves as not enough, not good enough, not rich enough, not thin enough, not working hard enough, not successful enough, not socially enough, not doing enough, not being enough.
Yeah.
Because industries thrive on that ideal.
100%. But there is no way to diet or exercise or people please yourself
into being enough.
It's an inside job, right? It's purely an inside job. And when you are enough, it means there is nothing else that you need to be seen as valuable and worthwhile. Nothing else.
At what point in your life or what place do you feel enough?
where I feel like I'm just enough, just as I am.
Yeah.
In my mothering, I feel I'm enough. In running a house, I feel I'm enough. I feel very much enough in any domestic space. I feel enough. I feel enough. It's hard to pinpoint the spaces and places where I do feel it and where I don't, because it's more of a round feeling. I don't know.
What do you
about
mean?
you?
What does a round feeling mean?
I mean, it's more of a general feeling rather than I don't tend to pinpoint the places and times where I feel enough.
No, well, you don't think about it, but now just looking into it and unpicking it, I guess it's important to realise where we feel enough and obviously where we don't, because that's where the work is.
Where do you feel
I have
enough?
no idea. And it wasn't a planned question, but it just came up just now. So it's not something that I have actually thought about, even though I have been telling people all week, you are enough. And I've been unpicking it with people and talking about it all week because I think it's such an interesting topic, and we'll go more into it later on, but there's been so many different responses to this, you are enough. Where do I feel enough? Oh, God.
I guess when you feel enough everywhere
No, I don't think you do.
because you're just enough.
No. That's the place we're supposed to get to, right? But there's always going to be a place in life that you're pushing for, striving for, doing something you've never done before. So you're going to have that beginner's mentality. Maybe you'll have a little bit of imposter syndrome.
Maybe. I don't know.
I feel enough as a friend. I definitely feel enough in that respect. I think I always do my best to be as good a friend as I can be. And if someone doesn't think that that's enough, then that's not enough for them. For me, I feel I am enough in that space. And I've learned that through, losing friends, as we've discussed on here. Where else do I feel enough? I don't think I do.
I don't know if anybody does. Or I don't know how many people do, or even if they do, if they would admit it. Because where does this all start?
You just said the places you feel enough. I think it's amazing.
I think I do. Honestly, until you asked me that, I've never really given it much thought,
I would say, knowing you as well as I do, I would say it was pretty accurate.
But it doesn't even matter if it's not accurate, because it's only how you feel about it. How one feels about
yes,
it.
Yes, it's your
themselves.
perception of it.
Yeah, absolutely. If you think about when we're all babies, everybody's a baby, and we're all these like perfect, unique little beings, these one-of-a-kind precious souls. So I think it's an interesting question to think about when in everyone's life you start to question if you are enough. So there's a lot of it at school, right?
I think it starts at puberty.
Do you? I think it starts much earlier.
Do you?
Yeah. Because by the time you're 5 or 6, there's people who are cleverer than you at school, prettier than you at school, more popular than you at school. And also you're already in your family dynamic. So you might have siblings who you perceive as liked more by your parents or who have better attributes than you. So
at
I think
5 or 6? I don't think you have the awareness at 5 or 6.
I do. I think you're told if you're a good girl, if you behave, if you eat nicely, if you don't answer back, all that sort of thing.
I think the messaging is starting to form at 5 or 6, but I don't think it comes into play into changing your behaviours or who you are until you start coming into puberty.
I think it's much worse with puberty.
I guess I'm just thinking about my girls going through puberty and the huge changes it was for both of them. It was just so drastic and so sudden.
And
I don't mean that in a bad way. I mean, they just completely changed through puberty.
But do you think that when that was happening, they started seeing things which made them feel less worthy than they were before?
Yes. And I don't know if that's a female versus male thing. I don't know. I don't have sons. And I remember it when I went through puberty as well. You really start questioning whether you are enough socially, whether you are enough physically, whether you are pretty enough, funny enough, sociable enough.
Popular enough?
Yeah. Enough. Are you enough to fit in? Are you enough to be popular? Are you enough to be chosen for the teams? Are you enough?
Yeah. But then it only gets worse when you become an adult, because then do you have a marriage? Do you have a good job? Do you own your own home? Do you have a good salary? Like, if you're not achieving, then you often feel like you're not enough.
Well, that's on society's expectations, isn't it?
Absolutely.
And sometimes those expectations don't fit for you. Like, I have a sister who's single. She's in her 50s. She's never been married and she doesn't have children. And that is something she's really had to get her head around, not being enough because of those things. Because it is so unacceptable to be in your early 50s and not have children, not have been married.
Yeah.
That's preposterous.
Yeah.
Because what's one person's journey is not another. And marriage and children isn't for everybody, and nor should it be. But for a woman, like if a man was going through his early 50s, everyone would be, oh, he's a bachelor. Oh, he's a cad. Oh, you can't pin him down. It wouldn't be anything more than that. But for a woman, it's this it's like having something hanging over your head of, well, what's wrong with her?
I was just listening to Kristen Davis, who plays Charlotte in Sex and the City, talk about this on her podcast this morning. And she was talking about, the whole premise of the show being that they're single and the married women don't like them and how they're always trying to get husbands. And she said, in my real life, she said, I'm not married. And actually, I never wanted to be married. And I have my children. I think she adopted 2 children. Should I have my children and I focus on that? But it was never my plan or my intention or my desire to be married. And everyone has their own journey and their own wants. And it was just lovely the way she presented it as like, there's nothing lacking in that. That's my active choice. And I'm really happy with it.
Yes. And I'm sure it's been quite the journey to get to that acceptance of that active choice.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because everything's against you. In order for a woman to be enough, they are supposed to do certain things in society.
Tick the boxes, right?
Yeah, as are men, of course. But, this show is predominantly female focused. So we'll stick it to that.
Yeah. Believing that you are enough isn't just about feeling good. It is absolutely foundational for mental health and personal growth. And when you do operate from a place of self-worth, because I think being enough really is wrapped up in self-worth, right? It's
Absolutely.
kind of the same thing.
Absolutely.
You're able to make healthier decisions and set better boundaries and pursue the goals that matter to you, not the ones that are driven by external validation, because that is a big part of it, right? It's like you do stuff because when you do it, other people will look at you and think that you're better, not because you actually genuinely want to do those things.
And also, if you're basing it on external validation, you have no control over that. You have no agency over that, because someone might validate you and someone might not. So you have to be able to give it to yourself in order to have complete agency over your own life.
For sure. For sure. And when you do truly believe you are enough, and I really don't know how many people, if you put 100 people in a room and ask them, I don't know how many of them would truly feel that. I'd be interested to know the answer.
I don't reckon anybody.
You don't?
Honestly, I really... Do you know anyone that truly believes they are enough from beginning to end? No questions asked.
I think my youngest son might a little bit. I'm going to tell you why a bit later in the show. Hello, clubbers. Do you know that Self-Care Club and 40ish, our other podcast, have a subscription?
Well, we are here to tell you that we do. It's on Apple Podcasts and you can find it there. All you have to do is click on our show and just scroll down and you will see the subscription there. And for $3.99 a month, you get early access, bonus episodes and everything ad-free. So please come along and join us.
And for the next 2 weeks only, we have halved the price of an annual subscription. So if you want a real bargain, go over now whilst the half price sale is still on. When you truly believe that you are enough, things start to shift. You get increased self-compassion and you become kinder to yourself. We talked about that a bit last week in our self-love show, didn't we? Your anxiety reduces because you have more inner peace. You don't have the whole stress of striving, reaching, searching for this unobtainable stuff. You show up as your true self. You're more authentic. And also you build more resilience. All of those things are really important.
I'm trying to think if there's anyone in my life that really does epitomise this. You are enough. Honestly, no one's coming to mind.
What do you think about the thought of someone saying, well, if I believe I'm enough, then aren't I going to get a bit like complacent, or I'm not going to try and improve because I just go through the world always feeling like I'm enough?
I think it is really important to always push yourself outside of your comfort zone and always strive to learn more and do more. Listen, I totally live by that. I am very uncomfortable with the idea that this is enough. It's enough. Everything's enough, because I feel like I would be stuck in that, and I'm not growing and I'm not pushing. So yes, I think there is something to say for that. But on the flip side of it, is it helpful to feel not enough? No.
Well, I think...
because that won't get you where you need to be either.
I think when you feel secure, then the growth comes from a place of curiosity, right? And of passion and of wanting to do something. It doesn't come from a place of feeling inadequate. I'm inadequate, therefore I have to do this. It's different.
Well, also you're chasing fear, aren't you? You're chasing something. You're chasing not being good enough. So I'm going to do this because I don't feel good enough. I'm going to start a podcast because I've got things to say because I don't feel good enough, so I need to be heard. Like, that's never going to come across well. But starting a podcast from a place of self-worth and self-love because you just want to put your message out there is going to have a very different result.
Yeah. And also, you're not paralysed by a whole fear of failure, because you're free to try and fail and learn, and it doesn't define who you are.
I really feel that failure is a part of pushing yourself beyond your own comfort zones. And if you don't fail at times, then you're not really pushing yourself.
Well, you don't know unless you try.
Right. But you do have to fail. It is part of life.
I think it's important.
It's part of growth.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. So here's some like tricky little questions. Would you say in the round that you feel like you're enough?
Yes. I'm not an insecure person particularly, but there's always work to do. I could always love myself that bit more. I could always respect myself that bit more, appreciate myself that bit more, of course. What about you?
I would say yes sometimes, no also sometimes. I definitely don't feel like that all the time.
No, I don't even know if that is even achievable. It's an aspiration, but I don't know if it's achievable.
Have you always felt like that? Or do you think like was there ever a time in your life where you definitely felt like you were enough? You were perfect, just as you are?
When you're going through, like, when I was learning to become a coach, like, you have to look at this stuff all the time and you really are confronted with it. So you're kind of pulled apart and then put back together. And there were points where you just felt high as a kite. Oh, this is who I am. And now I understand myself and now I see myself and I accept it all. So there were fleeting moments, but it doesn't last, I would say.
But like when you were a little kid, did you always feel like you were enough?
Yeah. I've always had two parents that have been very supportive and very loving of me. I'm very lucky in that respect, as you have. So I've never had to question myself on that fundamental level.
Yeah, I always felt the same. Like, I definitely remember feeling, when I say little, I mean really little, like under 7, maybe even under 6, and just feeling like, yeah, everything's perfect.
Because I didn't have a complicated relationship with my parents.
No, but also things like, I never questioned my body. I never questioned how I looked. I never questioned my personality. I never questioned if I was loved. It was just, I just was, and I was just great exactly as I was, exactly as I was. There was nothing to change, improve, do, work.
What are you talking about when you're little?
I'm talking about little, yeah, little.
I don't remember.
I
don't remember, but I do know that I have questioned all of those things throughout the years.
Yeah, but you know, if you think back to being really small, I'm talking like under 7 and like playing in the garden in your pants or whatever. All the shit that comes later in your life doesn't go through your head then, because you're just who you are and it's lovely.
But that's also because you're an innocent child.
Yes, but But all this stuff, when does that start? And why does it come?
Well,
And wouldn't it be lovely if we all stayed like that?
But you have more external factors coming into your world, right? Like you said, you have school and you have different cultures and different ideals and different teachers. And then your world widens again because you're going to college or you're going to university and you're meeting all sorts of different people. And there's always going to be a comparison. And this one's doing better than you and that one's getting better grades, or that one's family's going to nicer holidays, or whatever the comparison is. And I think that then feeds information into you as to who you are or how you feel about yourself.
We also, you and I, growing up, didn't have the internet, we didn't have social media, and we didn't have phones.
Thank God.
But I am pretty sure I would have felt a lot worse about myself a lot of the time if I had had all those things. Like, I think that my self-confidence and my self-worth was massively helped by not having that.
And also, we went out, like when I was in my late teens, early 20s, we just went out and we got drunk, we did stupid things, and there was no record of it. There's no imprint.
No.
There's no
evidence.
There's no evidence. There's nothing following us. We were able to just be.
You're free to make mistakes. You're free to get drunk and throw up in your friend's house and there's no one filming it and shaming you and talking about it and spreading it. It's like if you were there and you saw it, okay. If you weren't, you didn't.
Yeah. Well, adults we all struggle with feeling like we are enough.
Not enough, yeah. So my best friend who's been on this show, she's actually a doctor. She specialises in obesity. And she started to realise that all her patients were coming into her office with health problems that related to their obesity. And she said, she was trained how to diagnose them, get them meds, sort out their diabetes or their heart problems or whatever was going on with them. She said, but nobody at medical school had ever taught her to question why they were that size, what was going on. So she took it upon herself to go away for the weekend to go on a course with a therapist to kind of learn how to speak to people and how to say to them, listen.
How to emotionally support them.
How's your marriage?
Yeah.
How was your childhood?
Yeah.
To kind of dig a bit deeper into the reasons why these people had the problems they had and why they started. And the therapist on the course, she said, was completely life-changing. And she said at the end of the weekend, this woman sat down with everybody and she said, you know what? If everybody told their children every single day, you are enough, nobody would need therapy. She said, that is all that human beings need to know and feel. You are enough. And she said it to me, and Josh was tiny at the time, like 2 maybe. And I thought, okay, I'm going to do that shit. And I have basically said it to him. I mean, maybe not every single day, but all the time. Josh, you're enough. Josh, you're enough. You're enough. You're enough. It is like a constant message that I push at him. He is now 12. I'm telling you, that kid definitely knows that he is enough. Definitely. And maybe he would anyway. And maybe he's just quite self-assured and self-confident and he's got older brothers, so that's how he is in the world. But I don't think it's harmed him.
It definitely wouldn't harm anybody by being told that consistently.
But I wonder what that would do for everybody being told all the time, you're enough.
That brings us on to our weeks, really.
It does.
Should we take a break and then we'll come back and we will report back on how we found this practice?
Yes.
Lauren, you know me, and you know when it comes to food, I trust my gut. And I also trust Zoe, the leading science and nutrition company.
All the nutritionists we've spoken to on this show have highlighted just how much misleading information is out there when it comes to food. Things like the claims that you see on packaging, like low sugar and nothing artificial.
Yeah.
These are often actually a sign to avoid these foods. Ever noticed a health claim on fresh fruit?
No!
Well, then you get my point.
It's completely understandable why there's a lot of distrust and wondering who you should turn to for accurate information.
Well, it's simple. We use Zoe.
Backed by one of the world's largest microbiome databases and most scientifically advanced at-home gut health tests, Zoe gives you proven science whenever you need it.
Go to Zoe.com and find out what Zoe membership could do for you. And because you listen to Self Care Club Clubbers, you can use the exclusive code SELFCARE10 at checkout to get 10% off membership. As a Zoe member, you'll get an at-home test kit and personalised nutrition programme to help you make smarter food choices that support your gut. That's zoe.com. Use code selfcare10 at checkout. Trust your gut. Trust Zoe.
Yeah, sure thing. Hey, you sold that car yet?
Yeah, sold it to Carvana.
Oh, I thought you were selling to that guy.
The guy who wanted to pay me in foreign currency, no interest, over 36 months? Yeah, no. Carvana gave me an offer in minutes, picked it up, and paid me on the spot. It was so convenient.
Just like that.
Yeah?
No hassle.
None.
That is super convenient.
Sell your car to Carvana and swap hassle for convenience. Pickup fees may apply.
Wow.
What's up?
I just bought and financed a car through Carvana in minutes.
You? The person who agonized 4 weeks over whether to paint your walls eggshell or off-white bought and financed a car in minutes?
They made it easy. Transparent terms, customizable down and monthly. Didn't even have to do any paperwork.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. Hey, have you checked out that spreadsheet I sent you for our dinner options?
Finance your car with Carvana and experience total control. Financing subject to credit approval.
Well, firstly, we're going to go through a little step-by-step program on just how to embrace this idea that you are enough.
It's very short.
Number 1, self-awareness.
Yeah.
So notice when self-doubt creeps in and what's triggering it. 2,
That's hard.
you have to challenge those negative thoughts. So you've got to catch the thought and then challenge it. Ask, is this thought true and is it helpful? Love that. And then just use this simple daily reminder. I am enough just as I am. Choose environments and relationships that reinforce your worth. That's tough.
It is tough, but it definitely links back to last week, because if you are coming from a place of self-respect and self-worth, you are naturally going to surround yourself with people and relationships that support and reinforce that. You're not going to drag yourself down by being around people who don't treat you properly or bring you down.
Yeah.
Right.
Agreed.
So it all links in.
So it's just telling yourself daily, you are enough. You are enough.
I'm enough
you are
just
enough.
as I am.
I didn't really do this for myself. I was doing it for other people.
Yeah, so was I.
Weirdly.
So was I.
A therapist would have a field day on that, Lauren Mishcon.
Yeah, probably. But I kind of thought that's what we were doing.
Yeah.
Is that we were telling other people.
Yeah, we were.
I kind of forgot the bit that we were doing it for ourselves.
Me too.
Wow, that's bad.
How shit is that?
That's really bad.
Because this is a self-practice.
Yeah.
It's a practice for yourself.
But we didn't do it for us. I didn't do it for myself.
Didn't even occur to me.
Oh my God, that's really bad. Okay, that's a failure on both of
Well,
our
I don't think
parts.
it's a failure. I actually think it's very interesting that it didn't occur to either one of us to give that mantra to ourselves.
It didn't.
We were so busy giving it to everybody else that we didn't give it to ourselves. And I think that's just how we all roll. We're so easy and quick to give the love out to everyone else. And very rarely do we turn that inward and give it to the most important person in our lives, which is us. Sing it, sister.
Come on, you tell me about your week.
Well, I mean, I was a very busy little bunny.
Were you?
Yeah. So I started off at home telling my youngest, who's 14, and she is very, very 14. I said that she was very 13 when she was 13. Like they say, well, how is she? I said, well, she's 13 and she is really, really embracing being 13. And now she is really embracing being 14.
Well, there's no better time to embrace it. Let's be honest.
She is. So she's 14. And I said to her, Lily Rose, she said, yes. I said, you are enough. She's like, what? I'm like, you are enough. Why are you being weird? I'm like, I'm not being weird.
She says that to you like every week.
all the time.
Yeah.
Every week.
Why are you being weird?
I said to her, I just want you to know that you are enough. Well, she gave me a scowl, like a K, and just walked out of the room. My eldest, who's nearly 17, and she has got a much brighter disposition naturally. I said to her, Daisy, she said, yeah. I said, you are enough. You know what she said? Oh, thanks, Mummy. She gave me a big cuddle.
Oh, that's sweet.
It was so sweet.
Yeah.
And it was so interesting how one could take it and one couldn't.
But I sometimes find, Lily Rose, that you can sow the seed. So it might be like she heard it, she went upstairs, she thought about it, and it did sink in.
Oh, it's definitely sunk in. Well, I've said it to her about 100 times since. Right. And now they're all taking the mickey out of me and they're like, oh, you were enough, you were enough, you were enough. You know, like what? No one has twigged that I was doing it for a podcast.
Are you joking?
Swear to God. I swear down.
I mean, they've known you
I know.
all their lives.
And I thought they were going to say at some point, are you doing
doing
this
it for the channel?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But they,
Really?
no one did.
Oh, they genuinely just think you're a bit odd this week.
Like, why is she saying this? I said, it's just really important that you know that you are enough. So I told her constantly.
Yeah.
Then I went to a dinner party on Saturday night. There were 10 of us there. I got really drunk. I mean, there's like kind of me having a couple of cocktails and then there's like drunk me.
Mm-hmm.
It was drunk me. Mm-hmm. Right. I don't know what happened. I just did not stop drinking. Mm-hmm. And so then I dominated the whole conversation at the dinner table about this idea that you are enough.
Okay. Do you remember any of it?
It's hazy.
Okay.
It's hazy. But I was telling all the men there that you are enough. I said, how would you feel if I said to you, you are enough?
How did they feel?
How would you feel? Well, one of the guys, he was very interested in the idea, but he didn't really understand it. Okay. And he kept saying, I don't understand why you're saying that. And I don't understand what you mean by it. I was like, there's no meaning behind it. It's just that you are enough. And then my friend Jo, she's a therapist. And so I went and sat with her and I'm like, what do you think about this whole idea that you are enough? And she gave me a whole therapist opinion. Mm-hmm. And I wish I could remember what it was.
Well, yeah, it would be really handy.
She said it's the wrong wording. She said it's not enough to say that you are enough. You have to give more context. I'm like, but there isn't more context. You don't need more context. It's just about being enough.
Yeah.
You're enough
just as you are.
You are enough just as you are. But she was giving a whole therapeutic spin, which again, I was very drunk. Anyway.
Okay, great. Great feedback there.
You love that.
I got a lot of really insightful stuff, but I was drunk, so I don't know what happened.
And then I was telling my husband, I was telling everybody. And by the end
Your
of it,
husband, I think, does feel he's enough.
Oh, I don't know.
Don't think?
He definitely feels enough with his looks. Mm-hmm. Definitely.
He does.
He definitely tells me on the daily how handsome he is.
He tells me too as well sometimes.
It's so embarrassing, doesn't it? It's so
I'm used to it now, though. I'm used to it.
He actually says to you, am I handsome?
Yeah. No, I'll say to him, oh, I haven't seen you in a while. And he'll be like, but I'm still handsome, aren't I? Or am I still handsome? And he doesn't ever ask, am I still handsome? He'll say, but I'm still handsome, aren't I? Yeah.
He is obsessed with how handsome he is. It's very odd.
Listen, it's good self-worth there.
It's. Can you imagine if I just went round and said, am I still pretty? I'm still pretty though, aren't I?
You wouldn't say, he doesn't say, am I still pretty?
I'm still pretty.
Yeah, I'm very pretty today. Look how pretty I am today. Yeah, I mean, no.
A woman could never pull that off. Never.
No. Well, I mean, they could, but I'm not sure if they should.
To the point that even when I catch his eye, like
Yeah.
I'll be cooking,
Yeah.
and he'll walk past and I look at him and he'll go, handsome. as if that's what I'm thinking.
You know what? It's a bit like a dog. I think that's how they feel. You know how they just feel like so good about themselves all the time if they're a very loved dog? I think
Yeah.
that's how he feels.
Yeah.
Like, yep,
Handsome.
I'm perfect.
Yeah. Yeah. Maybe he was always told that he was enough.
Was he?
I don't know. I'd have to ask my mother-in-law.
You
I have
would.
no idea. Anyway, I basically just exhausted the whole you are enough.
Right.
Some people took to it well.
Mm-hmm.
They were like, oh, okay. I would say most people found it uncomfortable and a bit strange. Like, why are you telling me this?
Yeah.
Which I thought was interesting. It's just we don't.
It's not like the most normal thing to say to someone.
No, it isn't.
On the day-to-day.
No, you don't communicate that
No.
way. We don't go, by the way, Lauren, you are enough.
Yeah.
And then the next day, we were all on the group for the dinner party on the WhatsApp group. And then they were all saying, thank you for a lovely evening. We are enough. Everybody said it. So I thought, you know what?
You've done it now.
My work here is done.
Yeah.
My favourite moment of the week is when I texted my very good friend, Lauren Mishkon.
Oh.
And I said in 3 separate messages, you are enough in capitals. Mm-hmm. And you know what she said to me
Then
back,
what did you
clubbers?
send me? A prayer emoji.
And a fist bump.
And then a fist bump
Yeah.
emoji.
Yeah, it was nice. It was really nice. And you know what, clubbers? She fucking aired me. You aired me.
I thought it was like that was lazy work from you because I thought, well, if you're going to like be texting people, don't text me because I'm also doing the same thing. I was like, you don't need to text me. I felt that you were like, okay, I need someone to tell. I'll tell her. And
I reckon I have told maybe 20 people.
Oh, I haven't.
That they are enough.
I haven't.
Well, I have. My sister, she said thank you. She loved it. She
yeah,
was
I
into
can
it.
see her being really into
She really
that.
liked it. Her little eyes lit
And
up.
I can
It was
see
gorgeous.
her actually like genuinely appreciating
She
that.
did. Her and Daisy
Yeah.
really
Because
appreciated
she's
it.
got that sort of nature.
Yes, because
Yeah.
she's sweet and kind and loving.
Yeah.
As just naturally. You, on the other hand,
I'm not sweet, kind, or loving. And you're not any of those things particularly, am I?
well,
If you said
you're
it
not
to-
sweet.
If
I'm
you'd said
sorry,
it to-
I would never describe you
No.
as sweet. You are kind.
Thanks.
And you are loving in your own very weird way. But they're not ways in which I would describe you.
No,
Okay?
that's fine.
So what I'm saying is,
Yeah.
I didn't need you to air me. I thought that was a bit rude. And then
Yeah.
4 days later,
Yeah.
3 days later,
Yeah.
you send me a message. I might even read it.
Please. I just didn't pay any attention because I thought, well,
I know.
I know
That
why
was-
you're saying it.
That was
But
was obvious that you
if
paid
I-
it no attention.
If I didn't do the podcast with you and you sent it to me, I would probably reply either with like, "What the fuck are you on about?" or B, "Are you
What
doing
would you
this?"
have said?
I
What
would have
would-
said, "Are you doing this for a show?" Thanks. Are you doing this for a
Right,
show?
sorry. I sent this to you on Saturday at 2:22.
Yeah.
Okay. Yesterday. What was the day yesterday?
Sunday.
Oh, it was only a day later.
Yeah.
Well, you definitely aired me though. A whole 25 hours later,
Yeah.
you wrote, "You are enough, birthday biatch." Because it's my birthday today.
Yeah.
Are we doing a birthday breakfast? You know, I don't need you to tell me I'm enough and then call me a biatch.
I called you a birthday biatch. It's different. That's fun. I'd like to be called a birthday biatch.
But you haven't told me that I am enough.
Do I need to tell you? I'll tell you right now
You
to your
should-
face.
you know what?
I'm gonna
Yes.
tell you now to your face. Nicole, happy birthday.
Thanks.
You are enough. I feel like I'm saying I am a faithful. I am a traitor. You are enough.
Okay.
Just as you are.
Thanks. I feel it's a little forced, if I'm honest.
It's not.
It is.
It was really heartfelt.
It
was.
you know, I can really feel that
It was.
pulsating from you.
was
All I'm saying
heartfelt.
is
Yeah.
I was very kind, and not only did I extended it to all the people that I love. So you are one of those people.
That's nice. Thank you.
Yeah. And
You didn't
ignore-
need to extend it to me though, because I'm doing the show.
It's up to me who I extend it to.
Okay.
Okay.
I didn't think that you and I were in the rules of who to tell they were
Exactly.
enough.
That's why it was cute.
Oh, I see. It was cute. Okay. I was like, she doesn't know who to tell, so she's telling me.
Oh, you
but
thought I was
already
being
know.
lazy.
I was a bit like, she doesn't know who to tell because it's a bit weird to tell people, so she's telling me.
Like fucking tumbleweed. You are enough, tumbleweed.
Doesn't mean I didn't absorb it into my soul, like your daughter.
All I'm saying is being ignored by you is annoying.
I know.
I hate
it.
being ignored. I hate it. Right, tell me about your week.
Okay, I started at home because that was the easiest place to start. I told Zach when he came home from the gym one afternoon, I said, Zach, you are enough. And he was like, what does that mean? And I said, it means you are enough just as you are. I thought, I'm not elaborating. And he said,
It's amazing how people's minds get so immediately confused.
and he went quiet for about 10 seconds and he went, thanks, Mum.
Oh, he's so
that was
cute. He's so cute.
So then I said to Josh, you are enough. But he hears it all the following time.
Yeah.
Yes. He was like, aha.
yeah.
Aha, Josh, you're enough. Aha, aha. Like he knows it to his soul. So
Yeah,
that is
love it.
fine.
Love that
is
for him.
fine. That is fine.
Husband?
I actually didn't tell the husband. Now I feel guilty.
Yeah, so
I
you
feel
should.
a bit guilty
or
about
you
that.
didn't, or your work wife.
No, or you.
No.
I actually screenshotted the other responses so that I would have them to hand for the show. Do you love that?
Oh, you were texting people.
Yeah.
So hold on. So you're allowed to text people. I'm not.
No, but just I don't count.
You do count, by the way. You can't say that about yourself. Why would you diminish yourself to that capacity? You do count. You count.
Thank you.
You are enough.
Okay.
You are worthy of hearing you are enough.
Thank you. I told my friend Catherine,
Yep.
you are enough.
Yeah.
Heart emoji, prayer hands emoji.
Oh, you
That's what
kind
I
of followed in
sent.
my footsteps.
She replied, thanks. And then straight afterwards, as are you, heart emoji. And I said, thanks, slag. That was that.
Thanks, slag.
Told my friend Syra, you are enough. Same, heart emoji, palm emoji, completely out the blue. She is, if possible, less sweet, loving than me. Whew. She replied straight away, that is such a lovely message. I am shivering in bed with pleurotic chest pain. That means pain when you breathe in. So she was like, I think quite grateful to get the message
You know
and
what?
feeling ill.
I'm actually going to text a couple of my girlfriends as we're online now.
Okay. And then can I tell you something else?
Yeah.
I'm really, I mean, I am going to try not to cry when I tell you this. But then I texted my other son, Max,
Yeah.
who's at uni. And I just said, you are enough, heart emoji.
Yeah.
No prayer hands emoji because that's not his vibe. Immediately, 5 minutes later. Thanks, Mum. That's very sweet of you, heart emoji. You are also enough. I really needed that today, so thank you.
Oh.
And then I was like, oh, I wasn't really like feeling this week was a really big deal, but actually that really changed his day.
Would have changed mine so much you fucking replied.
No, it wouldn't.
Yes, it would.
Was it? But you know why I was doing it. Do you see what I mean?
But you're still doing it.
I
The
know.
intention isn't any different.
Okay, it's
Is
all
it?
about you.
No, it's not. It's about sharing the love. Like you're just very, you just share it to everyone else. It's
It was
fine.
very-
It's fine.
It's just renegade. It was very nice. It was very nice to know that 3 words like actually made a difference to someone's day.
I think they're 3 very powerful words, and I don't think they're said remotely often enough in society, which is why people get ultimately quite confused by it.
Mm.
I was having a moment with a friend on Saturday night, and she was telling me something, and I said to her, do you know what? It's just enough. It's enough, and you are enough. And then we had a lovely hug.
Did you think she felt?
Supported? I hope so, and I really meant it.
I'm sure you meant it.
I didn't follow it up with birthday BH.
Well, it wasn't her birthday, so it would have been weird.
You are enough. It's enough. You birthday bitch.
You actually love being called a birthday biatch. Don't even lie.
I actually don't.
Don't you?
No,
Oh, I'm sorry.
it's all right.
I want to summarise with something.
Okay.
5 really important things to say to you, the clubbers. Not you. Not you.
Not you.
It's all about
Fuck you.
It's always about you.
Thought you were going to
Do you
suddenly.
know how like we do a show for other people?
Yeah.
You know like how it's recorded and then you edit it and then it goes out on a public platform.
You know when we talked about like earlier in this show about external validation, how it's just not good for you. just gonna take that piece of advice.
So the show is for the clubbers, yeah?
It's also for us.
Yeah, but it's mainly for them. It's mainly for them, their well-being.
Oh, so we don't count.
We do count.
We are enough. we are enough.
I'm going to say to the clubbers,
Yes.
and you if you like as well, please pause whatever you're doing now and give us your full attention, clubbers. Oh, okay. We have 5 really important things to say to you.
You have my full attention.
Okay, you ready?
I'm ready.
There is no perfection. Anyone who believes there is or insists that you should attain that status is not worth your time. You are enough. There is no goal that you could ever achieve that will convince you that you are enough. If you don't already believe it before you get there, you still won't once you do.
That is so true. That is so true.
You, and all of you are an incredible person. We don't even know you. Well, I know you, but I don't know them. But We can tell you without a doubt there is something unique in you that sets you apart from everybody
Yes.
else. And
Yes.
whatever that thing might be, embrace it and nurture it.
Beautiful.
Other people's opinions, comparing yourself to others, and your own negative self-talk may have brought you to a place where you question your self-worth. But every single day, you are enough. And lastly, as long as you know that you are enough, no one can ever tell you that you are not.
Oh, that's my favourite.
Is it?
Yeah. And you are like a Hallmark card. I don't know what's happened to you.
It's so special.
It's
I have to say, as trite as this might be, I do genuinely believe in this. And you know I do, because I've been preaching it for the best part of 10 years to my own child. So I believe this, and I actually do live it. Not to everybody, but I do think it is important. It's good and it's important. You know?
Yeah, I agree. I'm here for this. As long as you know you are enough, no one can ever tell you that you're not. I love that. We're going to stick that up as a post on Instagram this week.
You're going to tattoo it on my backside.
Are you?
No. Because who needs to see that?
Well, you could just put it on a t-shirt. It might be more appropriate. Or we could just put a post on Instagram.
Yeah, we could just do that. That's a lot easier.
Anyway, that is our show.
Yes,
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
No. Thank you. Thank you for your support, your love, your care, your compassion, and is just overwhelming.
Wow.
Of how much love and support you want to give me.
I've given you fucking Malteser bunnies, so shut
You
up.
made me a cake today.
Yeah, I did.
But you were 45 minutes late.
Yeah, I was.
We were supposed to go for brunch.
Yeah.
And you were 45 minutes late.
You try finding Malteser bunnies in
I didn't
fucking
ask
February.
you to. I was fucking hungry.
Okay, well now you've got a whole cake to eat, so you won't be hungry anymore.
We will be back on Friday, which is in our subscription.
Yeah.
So please tune in for that. And we'd come over to 40ish, come find us. We release episodes on a Tuesday and a Thursday.
See you then.
Bye.
Marketing is hard. But I'll tell you a little secret. It doesn't have to be. Let me point something out. You're listening to a podcast right now, and it's great. You love the host. You seek it out and download it. You listen to it while driving, working out, cooking, even going to the bathroom. Podcasts are a pretty close companion. And this is a podcast ad. Did I get your attention? You can reach great listeners like yourself with podcast advertising from Libsyn Ads. Choose from hundreds of top podcasts offering host endorsements, or run a pre-produced ad like this one across thousands of shows to reach your target audience in their favorite podcasts with Libsyn Ads. Go to libsynads.com, that's LIBSYN, ads.com today.